Let's head across England again, county by county, and explore the biggest football stadiums that define each region's love for the game. From old-school charm in Somerset to Premier League grandeur in the West Midlands, every ground tells its own story. Each one has its own story, some historic, some modern, and some small but full of heart. Let's dive in. 24. Lancashire, Ewood Park, Blackburn Rovers. Ewood Park in Blackburn is one of the most traditional stadiums in England. It's been the home of Blackburn Rovers since 1890, though the modern version took shape in the mid-1990s during Jack Walker's ambitious redevelopment. The new stands gave it a neat, enclosed look with around 31,000 seats. Impressive for a club from a town of under 120,000 people. 23. Leicestershire, King Power Stadium, Leicester City. Next, we head to Leicestershire, and to a stadium that became a symbol of football's modern fairy tale. The King Power Stadium, built in 2002, is home to Leicester City. Sleek, compact, and loud, it replaced the old Filbert Street ground and seats just over 32,000 fans. This is the stage where Leicester shocked the world in 2015-16. 22. Lincolnshire, Sincil Bank, Lincoln City. In Lincolnshire, the proud home of Lincoln City, Sincil Bank has stood since 1895. It's a traditional English ground, with 4 distinct stands and a capacity of just over 10,000. The stadium sits near the River Witham, giving it a scenic, almost village-like charm. Though modest in size, it's been steadily upgraded, with safe standing areas and community facilities. 21. Merseyside, Anfield, Liverpool. From small-town charm to global power, Merseyside's biggest stadium is, of course, Anfield, the legendary home of Liverpool FC. Originally built in 1884, it started as Everton's home before Liverpool took over in 1892. Today, after a massive redevelopment of the main stand and the Anfield Road end, it seats around 61,000 fans. Anfield is more than a stadium, it's a temple of football. 20. Norfolk, Carrow Road, Norwich City. In the heart of East Anglia sits Carrow Road, home of Norwich City. Built in 1935, its capacity now sits at about 27,000, and it's one of the most charming grounds in the Championship. Carrow Road is famous for its close-knit layout, stands packed tightly around the pitch, creating a brilliant atmosphere when the Canaries are flying. 19. North Yorkshire, Riverside Stadium, Middlesbrough. North Yorkshire's biggest is the Riverside Stadium in Middlesbrough. Built in 1995, it replaced Ayresome Park and gave the club a modern home to match their Premier League ambitions of the time. With around 34,000 seats, it was one of the first new-generation English stadiums built in the 90s. Wide, open, and right beside the River Tees. 18. Northamptonshire, Sixfields Stadium, Northampton Town. For Northamptonshire, the largest stadium is Sixfields, home of Northampton Town, known as the Cobblers. Opened in 1994, it's a small but tidy 7,700-seat ground on the western edge of the town. It replaced the club's old county ground and was one of the early examples of the compact all-seater stadiums that became common in lower league football during the 1990s. 17. Northumberland, Croft Park, Blyth Spartans. Northumberland doesn't have a football league club of its own, but it does have a proud non-league heritage. Blyth Spartans Croft Park is the county's biggest football ground, holding around 4,000 fans. The club was founded back in 1899, and Croft Park has been their home ever since. It's small, open, and deeply local, with terraces that fill up for big FA Cup ties. 16. Nottinghamshire, City Ground, Nottingham Forest. Few stadiums carry as much heritage as Nottingham Forest City Ground. Opened in 1898 on the banks of the River Trent, it's a football cathedral for the Midlands. With a capacity of around 30,000, it's hosted league, European, and even international fixtures over its long life. This is where Brian Clough built a dynasty, 2 European Cups, a league title, and countless memories. 15. Oxfordshire, Cassim Stadium, Oxford United. In Oxfordshire, the Cassim Stadium is the county's biggest football ground. Built in 2001, it holds around 12,500 fans and replaced the old Manor Ground. It's known for one quirky detail. It only has 3 stands, with one end completely open. Originally, Plans included a hotel and retail park expansion, but the final phase was never built. 14. Rutland, Oakham United Ground, Oakham. Rutland is England's smallest county, and naturally, its football grounds are modest. The largest belongs to Oakham United, a non-league side playing at the Showground in Oakham, which holds around 1,000 spectators. There's no professional team here, just grassroots football, community matches, and youth events. But that's part of the charm. In counties like Rutland, football isn't about grand arenas. 13. Shropshire, New Meadow, Shrewsbury Town. In Shropshire, the home of Shrewsbury Town and their tidy 10,000-seat ground, the Montgomery Waters Meadow. Opened in 2007, it replaced the old game meadow by the River Severn, which had flooded one too many times. The new ground is modern, neat, and efficient, ideal for League One football. It has hosted international youth matches and women's Super League games. 12. Somerset, Hewish Park, Yeovil. Down in the rolling countryside of Somerset sits Hewish Park, home of Yeovil Town. Opened in 1990, it replaced the club's quirky old Hewish ground, which famously had a sloping pitch that dropped over 6 feet from one end to the other. Hewish Park can hold around 9,500 fans, with 2 seated stands and 2 terraces that give it that unmistakable lower league buzz. 11. South Yorkshire, Hillsborough, Sheffield. Few stadiums carry the weight of history like Hillsborough. Built in 1899, it's home to Sheffield Wednesday and stands proudly in the Ollerton district of Sheffield. With a capacity close to 39,700, it's the largest in South Yorkshire and one of the most recognizable grounds in England. It hosted matches during the 1966 World Cup and Euro 96. 10. Staffordshire, Bet365 Stadium, Stoke-on-Trent. In the heart of the Potteries, Stoke City's Bet365 Stadium, once known as the Britannia Stadium, stands as a modern monument to working-class football. Opened in 1997, it replaced the beloved Old Victoria Ground. The capacity hovers around 30,000, and during Stoke's Premier League years, it was famous for that fierce wind tunnel and ear-splitting crowd noise. 9. Suffolk, Portman Road, Ipswich. Over in East Anglia, Portman Road in Ipswich is pure football heritage. Built in 1884, it's among the oldest continuously used football grounds in the country. Today it holds just over 29,500 fans, and it's still home to Ipswich Town. Under Sir Bobby Robson in the late 70s and early 80s, Ipswich achieved European glory here, winning the UEFA Cup in 1981. 8. Surrey, Gander Green Lane, Sutton. Now, Surrey doesn't have any big top-flight football stadiums. Most of its larger venues belong to rugby. But one name stands out, Gander Green Lane in Sutton. It's home to Sutton United, and after their promotion to the Football League, it underwent significant upgrades. The ground, originally opened in 1912, now fits around 5,000 fans, with a mix of new seating and terraces. 7. Tyne and Wear, Stadium of Light, Sunderland. Now we go north, way north, to one of England's most imposing modern arenas, the Stadium of Light. Opened in 1997, this 49,000-seat ground is home to Sunderland AFC. Built on the site of a former colliery, the stadium's name is a tribute to the region's mining past, the light being a beacon of hope for the city. 6. Warwickshire, Coventry Building Society Arena, Coventry. This one's a bit of a boundary debate. Coventry sits right between Warwickshire and the West Midlands. But since the Coventry Building Society Arena, formerly Ricoh Arena, lies within the ceremonial reach, it earns its spot. Built in 2005, it holds around 32,000 fans and has hosted everything from championship football to Olympic matches. 5. West Midlands, Villa Park, Birmingham. Step into Villa Park, and you step into football royalty. Home to Aston Villa since 1897, this grand old ground seats about 42,600 and has hosted more FA Cup semi-finals than any other venue. Its architecture blends old and new. The Holt End remains one of the most iconic terraces in England, even after seating conversion. 4. West Sussex, Broadfield Stadium, Crawley. In West Sussex, the biggest football stage belongs to Broadfield Stadium, better known these days as the People's Pension Stadium. Home to Crawley Town since 1997, it holds around 6,100 fans. Compact and tidy, it's one of those grounds that punches above its weight. Crawley has spent time in League One, and the club's recent rise has made the stadium a lively local hotspot. 3. West Yorkshire, Elland Road, Leeds. Few places define football passion like Elland Road. Opened in 1897, it's home to Leeds United and packs in roughly 37,800 fans. This is where the great Don Revie sides dominated in the 60s and 70s. Leeds fans are famously intense, and Elland Road feeds off that energy. The club plans to expand it beyond 50,000 to match their Premier League ambitions. 2. Wiltshire, County Ground, Swindon. In Wiltshire, Swindon Town's County Ground is the football hub. Built in 1896, it holds around 15,700 and has a traditional four-stand setup. For decades, it's been the focal point of football life in the southwest. The ground hosted top-flight football in the early 90s when Swindon briefly reached the Premier League. It's that mix of history and hope that keeps the county ground ticking. 1. Worcestershire, Agborough Stadium, Kidderminster. Finally, we end in Worcestershire with Agborough Stadium, home to the Kidderminster Harriers. Built way back in 1899, it holds just under 6,000, but don't let the size fool you. This place is spirit. The pitch is pristine, the terraces are close to the action, and it's been used for England youth matches. Agborough is small, neat, and built for proper football people. And that wraps up this leg of our journey across England's football counties. Each stadium tells its own story, from glory and heartbreak to community pride. Whether it's a Premier League fortress or a 4,000-seat local ground, they all capture the spirit of English football. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for the next episode as we explore more of England's hidden football gems.